girls, come on. Leave the saving of the world to the men? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Let us get us reorganized here. Hey,
hello,
everybody.
Hello.
What up?
Welcome to Nerdy Girls After Dark. We're back for another week. We've got some fun stuff planned. I think Maya's going to take us out here with some introductions and some let's get ready to rumble stuff.
Yes, so it is Thursday of the Nerd Life Network game week. So every show has been having some sort of game type component, but we're spicing it up a little bit. And when I say spicing it up, ladies, we have heard you. We've heard your desire to ask questions that you've never been able to ask because either it's too uncomfortable or what else. So we did a poll on our Instagram, gotten text messages and gathered some questions that they want to know from the guys. But before we get started, let's introduce the contestants. Contestant number 1 that I know very, very well, Mike, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey everyone, I'm Mike. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. My family is from Long Island, New York. Looking forward to answering questions tonight.
All right, contestant number 2, John.
Hi guys, I'm John. I am residing in Mississauga, Ontario. My family is from the Philippines. And I hope you girls take it easy on us tonight.
No promises.
And then contestant number 3, my bad.
I got you. What's up, everyone? My name is Tristan, Cara's fiance. Family is originally from Trinidad and Tobago, but I'm currently residing in Ontario, Canada. And I am very interested to see what these questions are about.
This is going to be lots of fun because for anyone who doesn't watch the show on a regular basis, we typically end our episodes with questions you're too afraid to ask. And then the girls would answer the questions. But today, the guys are in the hot seat. So I also want to say in the comments, if you're joining, please be respectful. Yada, yada, yada. You know how to carry yourselves. Mm-hmm. So our first question, Cara, I will kick it off to you.
To me, okay. We're just going to start easy, I guess. We'll let you guys ease in. What are some of your green flags? Things that you look for that you would say is a green flag, like for other people.
And be honest.
Yeah, to anyone listening, we did not give them any heads up as to what kind of questions they were going to get. So all of their thinking is live.
I can go
green
first.
Green flag is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Mike, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I can name a few that come to the top of my head. Confident, good hygiene, respectful of my time. Get one more. No, I'll stop right there. I don't want to steal all of them from my brothers.
I'll go next. Trust, and with that too is just being able to communicate in a calm way, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Kind of just making sure that I'm in sync with that person when it comes to our communication style, and keeping a level-headed in any situation that they're faced. And another one is being active, being able to take care of themselves. physically, mentally, all of the above.
Okay.
John is a personal trainer.
I'll piggyback off of John actually. Being able to like share the same activities, like it doesn't have to be exact, but if it is different, just being respectful about other hobbies or even like supporting what the other might be into. So I want to say ideally green flags supportive. What's the other one? And motivating. Because if you just have a partner and it's just like, fine, cool. Oh, you feel down? You'll get there. But I can say from experience, my partner is a green flag. So, very supportive.
Thank you.
Love to hear that.
You don't need any more points, Kristan. You've already got
Right.
Good job.
He does need points.
You can never have enough, I guess. You can never have enough.
You can't keep them coming.
Well, I just need to add a little chaos here for a second.
Not at all.
And so this is a question that we got. I'm not going to say who, one of our other co-hosts. Do boners hurt?
Don't look at me.
This was one we were told that we had to ask. So,
Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat the question for me?
do
I can
boners?
go first on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So, generally, no. The only time that I felt any type of like pain or like discomfort from a boner is if I've been going around and I'm like coming back for like round 3 or round 4, and I get that third or fourth boner that time might be a little uncomfortable, might be a little extra stiff. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Mike there. It's if it's prolonged, for sure, it hurts, right? Like if you get it and then it's not taken care of and it's prolonged and it's just there. But also if it's your second round or third or whatever and you're into it, then it hurts.
So that
It's
actually goes with there's another question that we got was whether or not like blue balls was actually a thing or just something that you guys made up.
Or is it a manipulation tactic
Yeah.
to either have sex or get 10?
It's a real thing.
Hmm.
For sure.
It
It hurts. Yeah, it hurts. Physically it hurts. I don't know. I don't want to speak on behalf of the other two guys, but by all means take the floor. But for me, it's a real thing.
Okay.
It's painful until it is taken care of. And then it's just like this release of like stress that you're holding on to. It's weird.
Okay.
Gio just got here. He's probably wondering what's going on.
Oh my God. Hey, Gio. Okay. Kristan, you have an answer?
I mean, honestly, for me, I personally have not felt physical pain from blue balls. It's more mental pain. You know what I'm saying? When that happens, but I don't know. Do we mean blue balls in the sense that you about to get off and then you stop right there, or what is?
It's however you define. If you say you have blue balls, how would you define it?
Okay. Well, I would define it as I'm about to nut, but I don't. But I've never had that happen before. Every time I was about to, I do. So I haven't had to deal with it like on the brink. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't know what you mean, but
I know. Okay.
I guess I have a different definition of what it is. For me, it's like when you get a boner, but then it's not necessarily when you're about to finish and it doesn't. It's like when you get a boner and then I guess you don't finish, and then it just repeats and repeats and repeats, where it's just like it builds, and then the tension is kind of just there, and it's like a cramping feeling, right? So even when you don't have one, it still feels like you kind of do, and it's like this tense feeling in your balls. I don't know if that's just me, but yeah.
I could piggyback off of that because it's kind of like in a sense of anticipation, and then it's like, and then it's like, oh, and then you feel it from head to toe. It's like, dang, okay. Yeah.
It feels like there's just like a vice grip just holding on to them, and it's just like this tight feeling. It's really hard to explain, obviously, to you ladies, but in my mind, it makes sense.
Okay.
That's very descriptive answers. We appreciate that.
Yeah. That's some
Especially the
honesty.
gestures.
Our pleasure.
How do you compliment, like as females, how do we compliment a guy such as like a coworker or a friend without him thinking that you're flirting?
It's a good
Like,
question.
how do we compliment men without quote unquote leading them on?
See, that's a hard question because I feel like a lot of dudes will take anything you say and take it to heart and will think that you're interested in them.
Yes.
Right?
Which
Especially
I think is where the
people-
question came from.
Yeah, especially people that have, I mean, no offense to dudes, but that aren't overly confident, right? They will hold on to anything and everything you say, right? Even if it's as small as, oh, that's a nice shirt on you, they will hold on to that. And they're going to think, oh, that girl's interested, right? So, I don't know. For me, for example, a nice one would just like anytime I get compliments on my tattoos and they say that, oh, that's a really cool design. That has nothing to do with me. It's just my tattoos and like how it looks on me. So I'm going to think that they're just interested on the same things I'm interested in. For example, if they comment on my Harry Potter tattoos, I'm not going to think, oh, they're interested in me. No, I just think they're interested in things that I'm interested in, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I agree completely.
Yeah, I like that too. I would say do it just matter of factly, you know? Because to his point, like a guy is liable to take anything as, oh, she's interested in me. I think no matter what the compliment might be, it might be like an eyebrow raise for someone, even if they're not reading that much into it. And maybe be judicious about what you comment on too, and just don't comment on things that people might take the wrong way if you don't want them to take it the wrong way.
But I feel like guys can take anything the wrong way. I could say,
This is true.
Shoes,
that's 100% correct.
well, she thinks I look good today, or I can just say I like the shoes. So I feel like I don't know, but that's good to know. I just feel like you can't compliment any guy you're not interested in at this point.
Shabs,
Right. I think it's how you say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is correct. It's just how you say it.
Add a roll at the
and
end.
What you say, right?
Fire kicks, bro. Okay.
Say
Yeah,
bro.
seriously.
That's
Talk to
good.
them like you're a bro, and then they'll get the point.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, nice shirt, bro.
And then, hey, Alex.
I can see that being weird to someone who you've never called bro before, though, in the workplace. Like, nice shirt, bro. You're like, what? What are you talking about?
Or bruv.
I think you're better off to just not give compliments, to be honest. Just leave them alone, because they're going to take it to heart anyway. So whatever you say, however you say it, for the most part, they'll just take it to heart and they'll run with it.
This is an interesting comment from Monique. I feel like I tend to use the word like sick or dope when complimenting a guy.
Sick shirt, dude.
Yeah.
Yes, sick shirt, bro.
Exactly.
Bro, sick, dope combination, unbeatable. They would never think anything different if it's Gotcha.
I also like what John was saying about like, I like your tattoos versus I like the design of that tattoo, because then you're like putting it back on the creator of the content or like the designer of the shirt, if we're going with that example, rather than how it looks on them. That's good too. I like that.
The same song. Oh, that's our.
We got Dre in the building.
Hey, Dre. And then my sister said the same energy as the fire emoji. That is true. Not the hard eyes, the fire emoji. Yeah, that gives bro sick vibes. Okay.
The sun is disappearing into the night right now.
In about half an hour, I'll be invisible.
Okay, so wait, is it me, Kira?
Yes.
Okay, so this is another one that I recently got. Okay, how do you define a simp? And do you think guys take or okay, I'm trying to reword this to make it sound better. You guys purposely don't do things that are respectful or nice and genuine in fear of being a simp.
I have a confession. I don't even know what simp means. I have never used the word. I have no idea what it is. So if someone can explain it to me,
Because
and
we're
then
old.
maybe I can, yeah,
I
pretty
think
much.
John and I are the oldest ones on here.
if you were ever called whipped, like, oh bro, you're so whipped. I think that's what it's evolved into, being a simp. Because like if I'm with the boys and then it's like, hey guys, gotta go. Why? To be with my girlfriend. Oh, you're so whipped. So it's like, he's simping. Like, no, I'm just trying to spend quality time with my female. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. So I think it's just an evolution of whipped, honestly.
I agree. I think honestly, it has become something that is very subjective now, the definition of it. I think it means different things to different people, but it generally to his point, it's kind of around or if a guy is simping, it's kind of you would use that to describe if he's being like extra chivalrous, I think. That's not necessarily how I describe it. I feel like I would say somebody is simping if I think like they're doing too much too early. And a guy and a girl can simp, not just a guy.
Yeah, look at Micah's comment. Micah was the first person who told me I was simping.
I don't, Micah, you're gonna have to tell me what situation that was. Or drop it in the chat because I don't remember. But how would I define it? I don't know. I think bro summed it up well.
Oh, Gio says basically what you were saying. Someone who does way too much for a person they like.
Yeah, doing too much, and especially doing too much too early. Wait, what?
Not I bought her a car at a whole ass house and we're not even dating. Nathan the
Nah, exactly. Exactly. Like you start texting someone one day, and the next day you're you're cutting off everyone else you're talking to without even talking to this person about exclusivity, stuff like that.
Saying I love you.
And then to add to that, what is the question with that concept of like?
So I think where this person was coming from is like, are guys in fear of being called a simp? Do you guys purposely try to be nonchalant and not show interest in fear of being called a simp? Basically, that's what it's.
I see. Personally, I don't really care if people think that to be whipped or if I'm a simp or whatever it may be. I just don't typically care what people think. Like if I feel like my significant other deserves this or deserves that, and if I feel like I want to do something for her, then nothing's going to stop me from doing that. And that being said, it's reciprocated, right? Like I'm doing this because I feel like it's a two-way street in that relationship, where if I'm doing something for her, it's because, I don't know, she's doing something nice for me in return, or that it's a healthy relationship where we don't have to worry about what other people think, and it's just something that I want to do for her, even if it's like, for example, opening the car door for her from time to time just to let her in. You know, like some people might call that whip or you're a simp, but I say that's just being a gentleman, and I want to open the door for her and give her a kiss after I let her in, and then I go on my way. You know, like I don't. I think if again you are confident in yourself and your relationship, you shouldn't be afraid of being called those things because it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
John is an old school romantic.
That's amazing. Well, Micah was giving content.
Yeah, I had a chuckle at that a minute ago. I remember now.
And then
Yeah,
Gio said he's also seen the other side to be true, where a guy will be all nonchalant or act uninterested when in fact they are a simp.
yeah.
So I seen
But
that.
real quick, I think that you can be a very nice and respectful guy and not be simping. Like all the stuff that he described, I think was being nice and respectful and chivalrous, especially to like your girl. I think that you can be nice and not be a simp. So yeah.
Dre said, I think being a simp is typically reserved for when a guy and girl isn't in a relationship. I think it's true because, like, once you're in a relationship, you could be simping all over each other, you know?
Yeah, you're supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
All right. So I guess kind of similar to that, maybe. Do guys brag about their girls with their friends?
Hell yeah. I know I do.
Yeah.
I'm proud. I'm proud of her and I'm proud that I'm with her. So hell yeah. You know, I never want to be in a relationship where it's the opposite, where I'm talking smack about the person that I'm with. That is something that I never want to be a part of. And I hope that my partner is the same way, where they don't badmouth me to their friends, and it's just healthy, right? But if I think, just like if I think that I'm really close with Charles, and I will, even to her, like when I'm talking to my friends about my other friends, I brag about them. So yeah, if I love my girlfriend, then yeah, I will brag about her because she's great. So why would I not?
It's funny when you asked that, I thought about it from a different perspective because I'm not in a relationship. I thought, and did you say girl or girls? What was the specific word used?
I said girls, but it could
Girls,
be the girl that you're with, like
girl that you even just started talking to.
Yeah, like I guess in context, like how girls always have like girl chat where we talk about boys and all that kind of stuff. Does the same thing happen, or is it just like a sex
picture? Yeah, all that.
Yeah, I think it depends on the friend group or the guys. I feel like typically in mine, not a lot of that. I might, like, if I'm talking to someone new, I might drop a pic just to, like, this is who I'm talking to. But outside of that, not too much. But if I was in a relationship for some time, I think maybe that kind of thing would come up more. But generally not too much, I would say.
Croissant,
it kind of takes me a while to warm up to people, so it's like I would not like show some like random like, hey man, this is who I'm with. Like, no, I don't know who you are. So,
but even like your friend group,
yeah, your friend group, like
yeah,
your boys.
But I do have some reconnecting to do. So, close friends, I'd say yes. Modest pics, obviously, but yeah, that's about that. But generally, guys do talk about their girls or who they're seeing. So yeah.
Gotcha. Gio says it depends because I don't IDK if I would to my guys who I know are lonely right now. Pandemic was tough for a lot of people, so I see that. Okay. Next question. Okay, this is one that I think is really good. So, what are some signs that a man is dangerous to be around, like from a guy's perspective? Like, what are some signs that women may miss?
I want to say hot-headedness because I know a few guys that are hotheads that are still single, but they always seem to get the girl first, and then it's a quick. We were about 2 months together, and then I got mad, and then she dumped me. So I think hot-headedness is a big one.
I'm having trouble thinking of some that y'all would miss that we would know about. I mean,
I don't know. I feel like girls are pretty good with picking up like tendencies and I don't know characteristics that they're not into. Sorry to cut you off, Mike, but yeah, I just feel like Yeah, temper is a big one for sure.
Maybe like over attentiveness to the point of being a little overly or weird. Might be one, but that's also something that I think a girl would catch on to. So
Like a stalker vibe.
overly, yeah.
You guys give us a lot of credit.
Right.
Yeah, I guess so.
Girls are big. Like that's why you see all the memes of like girls going for red flags, is because like, we just go for them.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like you guys, I mean, not to be general about it, but from my past experiences with friends that are girls, like they always just end up going with the douchebags, and it's just like, yeah, saw that coming.
Mhm.
You know, I think it's when you feel like you need to fix this person to be with that person, then that's a red flag, right? Because that means they're not complete themselves. It's not your job to fix that person. So if you're with that person because you feel like you need to change something about them, right? You're not a fixer. Like I think being in a relationship where you feel the need to change something about the person and you feel like they're dependent on you, then that's something that you should automatically think, yeah, that's not good. That is not healthy to be around.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
The only other one I would add is like, and I don't think like Maya, I know you wouldn't notice this off rip, but some girls wouldn't. It's like when guys talk about just watch how like dudes talk about women some ways. Like sometimes if a guy's talking about a woman, then a girl might react and be like, oh, I'm like the pick me energy, and like, oh, like, I'm not like that, blah, 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 blah. But a lot of times I feel like when dudes talk about women in a certain way, it's kind of like an underlying sign of like you low-key don't like women. You know what I mean? The way that you should properly respect them. So yeah.
When they say Future is their favorite rapper.
I'm not gonna speak on
No comment there, Mike.
Future's not my favorite rapper for anybody.
I know.
And also, if I may add, I think how guys, especially the ones that are trying to still find a significant other, will act a certain way towards other guys versus how they would act towards women, right? Like they will always try to be their best selves towards women. So it's hard to answer that question per se because they'll act differently towards us, and we might see those traits, but then when they turn around and talk to you, it's gone because they're trying to act good and that they mean well, but actually that's not how they really are, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. These are really good.
I know. And Gio said in the comments like toxic jealousy tendencies, and I think that's a good one too.
Yeah.
That can be like kind of hard to pick up on, I guess, sometimes, but if you can catch it in other ways, or if you can catch it fast enough, that would be really important, because that could lead to temper and all these other things that we talked about so far.
Yeah, a lot of these things take time to pick up, right? That's the hard part, because just like any beginning of a relationship, everything is just butterflies and roses and rainbows, and you don't really know, right? But for example, jealousy is a huge thing, right? If you have a boyfriend and they don't want you to have friends of the opposite sex, I think that's a red flag, right? That's just trust, and that's just something that you need to have in a relationship, and that's hard to pick up right off the bat.
True.
That's a good point.
All right, moving on to the next one. What happens to your balls when you run? Do they like bounce around? Like for girls, when you run, like your boobs going all over the place? Is balls the same way?
I can answer that. I wear compression shorts, so it keeps it nice and tight. So they don't really like.
It's like a sports bra.
I can show you something if you want, but it's just like really, really tight.
We don't want to see
I think we're good.
It holds everything together.
Compression shorts are necessary.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Even if you're not.
So all the guys here wear compression shorts.
Yeah,
I wear them sometimes, but like I feel like it's one of those things where if you're constantly experiencing a sense, then you're desensitized to it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you could have like an air conditioner in your house that's mad loud, but you're used to it. But somebody else might come over and then you're like, yo, your AC is loud and you don't even it doesn't bother you. So like similar thing. Because I used to run a lot. I ran track, and if I actively think about it, it's like, okay, like my shit is moving around, but but you get to the point to where you don't really like notice it. So for me,
that makes a lot of sense. For me though,
it doesn't hurt then.
Nah, it doesn't. Running does not hurt. No, not me
so
at least.
for me, I chase TMI, but I chase. So I need compression pants or compression shorts, so it doesn't happen. So it's not even just the balls going all over the place, but it's like everything else. So I need that layer of protection where it's just I'm not like skin on skin or balls on skin because I chase. So compression shorts anytime I play sports, anytime I work out, anytime I go for a run.
Yeah, like John, I have thunder thighs, so I just rather eliminate all issues ASAP. So compression shorts.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So Mike is Free Willy. Everyone else is compression shorts.
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay. Next question. Let me try to switch it up for less spicy. Okay. So this one. Does your arm actually hurt when you're the big spoon? I feel like I've also, when I got this question, I'm like, I get that too, because I'm like, does your arm hurt? And they're like, no. And is that actually true, or are you actually just taking in the pain because you just for the sake of making her comfortable?
I
know
can go
it's very
first. My shoulder is always sore because what happens is they're on my shoulder, so my shoulder is always up like this. So when we fall asleep, right, I'm sleeping like this, and that's not comfortable. That's not fun. So if I fall asleep like that, I'm sore the next day. Or if I'm like this and it's just like constricted and my elbow gets, so I don't know, maybe I'm just old and my joints are just like all knotted up. But yeah, my shoulder gets sore from it.
But you tell her like it doesn't hurt, or does she even ask?
Oh, I mean, it's comfortable, and I actually like it when we do that. Like I can fall asleep doing that every single night. So I don't mind at all. I think it's nice falling asleep that way. I don't care if I'm sore.
Gotcha.
I prefer like being in that position where I'm holding her that way.
It depends on how big her head is.
How big is the shorty's head? That's crazy. That's crazy. Nah, but for me, generally, I mean, it's uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable, but I feel like I've recently am starting to be able to. I don't know. Maybe it's just not affecting me as much, or I'm learning how to like do the little shift to be a little more comfortable to like stay in that position longer. But my go-to used to be like, I'll do that till you sleep, and then I'll wiggle up, you know what I'm saying? Wiggle over and get my own space. But I can fall asleep like that now sometimes. But
I think that's fair. Like,
yeah, and some people get hot too. Like I personally get hot. I don't know. It seems like girls don't get hot like that, or they don't care. But
we do.
We don't get as hot. Croissant gets to the temperature of the sun. He sleeps.
I'm like,
I do that for a little bit watching a movie, but I cannot fall asleep.
And then you gotta have your own space. Yeah.
Dre says, when your arm falls asleep, you can't feel any pain anyway, so no problem. Tristan, do you agree with this?
I actually haven't experienced, or I can't remember the arm pain because when I'm with Cara, I basically cradle her. So she's like right into my chest anyway, so I don't feel anything.
That is wholesome.
Okay, that's very wholesome.
That's true.
Yeah.
Adorable.
That's true. Oh, it's my turn. What is something that you actually notice about a girl? Girls are always out here getting our hair done, our nails done, makeup.
Are we talking physical?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. That's how I read it.
Yeah, I agree. Because when we put so much effort in a lot of things, and
Kristan's sitting here trying not to say ass.
I mean, lips
Don't
are
worry, I'm guilty
food.
of that thing.
I'm weak.
Any other answers other than ass?
I mean,
Will we notice if they try, like if they do something different? Is that the
yeah,
question?
because I feel like I notice everything physically because I'm gonna look at you. You know what I mean? Like I'm
But
gonna.
do you appreciate it? Like, for example, guys would be like, "I love you without your makeup on." Do you really don't like it when girls wear makeup, or is it something you appreciate? Do you appreciate nice nails, pedicures? Like, are those things that girls kind of do extra, or just in general about their physical appearance that you appreciate?
So, I mean, to the to like the grooming stuff, like the pedicures, manicures, moisturized skin, all that. Yeah, I appreciate the hell out of that. I think the makeup thing is more of something that varies. A, it varies guy to guy. B, it varies girl to girl too. Cause like some I think some girls do look better without makeup, but also some girls wear too much makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And then to the point that it's like a detriment. So then in that case, it's like, why are you wearing so much makeup? But makeup is good for some girls too. You know what I'm saying? That exists. Like the statement that in general girls look better without makeup, I don't agree with that. I think some girls do look better with makeup and some don't. Yeah, it depends. If I'm keeping it a buck, like, but that's me.
I'm sorry, Kristan, but I have to say you're giving me Mirror Mirror from Shrek. You know, the mirror just like floating.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Remember,
it's just the face.
Anyway, he's like a floating head and like a black background. But anyway, okay. Thanks for the honesty, Mike.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree with Gio.
Okay.
Less makeup natural is better. My girlfriend doesn't really wear too much of it, or any at all, to be completely honest with you, and I admire that so much about her because it just means she's comfortable in her own skin, and to each their own too, right? Like if you want to wear that makeup, you rock that thing. Go ahead. You know, it's just personal preference. As Mike said, it's just some people like it less, some people like it more. My preference is less, so it's hard to answer that question because I guess she doesn't really do all those things, and I love that about her. Though a few weeks ago she got a haircut and I did not notice, so that was the thing. But
yeah, see, this is the question.
Yeah, it looked great on her.
It's like, what do you notice and what do you not?
Yeah,
so
we were driving to school and she was like, "Do you not notice anything different?" And then I had to do a double take, and I was like, "Oh, you got a haircut. It looks great." Yeah. Right? But once I noticed it, I agreed. Yeah, it looked great. But
I feel like that's a common one. Guys don't notice hair, like a haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my bad. That was a bad one. It's like so short and it used to be so long, and I just completely just missed it.
Well, we have a question, I guess, from the audience. Micah, if your girl asked for a BBL, would you be supportive? I guess you could say not ask, but if she told you she wanted a BBL, would you be supportive? Or any cosmetic surgery? Let's just leave it at that.
I couldn't picture it.
Again, I don't know what a BBL is.
A Brazilian butt lift. It's like what the Kardashians get to make their ass look bigger.
Oh, I thought it was like boobs, but wait.
She doesn't need it.
Lipo?
No, Brazilian butt lift.
Oh.
And they take like fat from your stomach and they put it in your butt. Or your arms, or thighs, wherever you have extra fat.
That would be fantastic. Man.
So me personally, I like to be honest with people, you know what I'm saying? So I know some of y'all aren't familiar with BBLs, but there's I think there's a wide range of like how much people put into their BBLs, how much like meat, you know what I'm saying? So so you know that might determine how I would react, because I think some people do more than they need to, you know what I mean? And if I'm already with girl, then I like said girl the way that she is already. So I would just try to I wouldn't want her to do too much. You know what I mean? And again, this makes sense if you've seen how some BBLs look. So
some of them are botched jobs.
Yeah. I'll stop it there.
I think it's a personal thing too, right? That's what you're into.
Yeah.
Go for it. Again, I'm more of a natural type of person where I think you're beautiful as is, so no need to change anything, no need to add anything. I had been with someone that got her lips done, and that was just awful. And I would never go back to that ever again.
Awful.
Oh man.
It was a botched job, or is it just she didn't look like herself anymore?
Both, probably. And I was just, no, it was awful. So I'm never gonna go back to anything like that. And right now, like that butt lift, she doesn't need it. She's good.
Heard you, bro.
I like my lady how she is, honestly. But for people with BBLs, I feel like they can get one thing done and then they're gonna look at their bodies as, okay, what else can I change? And it's like, okay, I want it bigger. And then it becomes a slippery slope where it's like, okay, I want to look like a Barbie doll, and then they look botched. So
starts with the BBL, then the lip
anti-BBL.
It's supportive of whatever girls want to do with their body, but I guess it's good to hear from a guy's perspective. We have a comment from Gio. My opinion, it's better to accustom others to see you natural, no makeup, than to always accustom others to see you only with makeup. Okay.
Fair point.
It's also like a lot of work for the girl to only be seen with makeup on. I feel like I showed Kristan my natural face like fairly early on, like maybe like a couple weeks into it, and then so much freedom that comes with that.
I said, yeah.
You still gotta like roll over and look at someone every morning, and if you feel like you have to wear makeup, it kind of sucks. But everyone's on their own self-love journey, so it depends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no hate against anybody who does want to wear makeup every day. If that's what makes you feel good, then do it.
For sure. I think I got the next question, and it is, I'll ask this one. Is sex actually always on your mind?
So who's going to go?
No.
Who's going to tell him?
No. And it sucks because
Wait, did you say yes or no?
I said no, it's not always on my mind. And it sucks for women because some of them think that it's necessary to give that up to please and to be with a man. And it's really not. That's just me personally speaking. It's just I would rather build on the communication of us talking and us doing all these other things. And that part just comes naturally. And I feel like if you build it the natural way where that's not the only thing that's on your mind and you actually get to know someone and build off of that connection, then that kind of just comes second nature and it's a lot better. So, I mean, again, that's personally how I look at it. It's not always on my mind, but if it's good, then maybe some days like this, but not all the time.
For me, I think I think some context would help answer the question. I'm gonna answer the context. I'm gonna answer from the point that I'm like getting to know somebody, right? So like, if I'm getting to know someone and I think they're fine, like I'm very attracted to them, I'm gonna think about sex with them. But that's not gonna be the only thing I'm thinking about. I'm probably also gonna be thinking about getting to know them on a real level, like he just described. But if I'm attracted to you, the thought will be there, but it's not necessarily like why I'm here in that context. So
that's well said.
Okay.
I think for me, it comes and goes in seasons. Like, if I'm focused on something else, then it's like, yes, the thought is there, but I want to get some other things done. But when it's hot and it's the summer, it's like, I want to say every other 5 minutes. It's just there. And I thought the myth of if you work out more, your sexual drive increases. I thought it was hilarious, but no, it's true. It is true. But as Mike said, in the thought of getting to know someone, I just need to know if they're going to be in my corner, period, if I can like be with them without it, and if I can see them in my future. And then when we get to the comfortable stage, like we're dating, we're in this together forever. Yeah, no, it's there. Yeah.
My sister just texted me LOL in all capital letters.
Yeah.
In the summer, every 5 minutes. Okay. Noted.
I know that's right.
Oh, okay. When does guy puberty start? Is it like your first boner, or is it when your voice changes? When does guy puberty start?
Pubes, probably.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
I think that depends on the guy. I think that's different for every guy, I would assume. For me, I can't even remember. Like,
Jesus' pubes.
I think it depends on your environment, like whatever you see, whatever you're like used to visually frequenting, or like just depends on the guy, really.
I think that's a good example. Mike, go ahead.
No, you got it.
So, I mean, when I was in grade 7 and grade 8, I was like 4'7", and my voice was just to the point where anytime I would answer the phone, whoever was on the other line would think it was my mom picking up the phone. Like, my voice was just so high. And I guess one day when I picked up the phone, that wasn't the case anymore. They knew it was me. That's how I knew that I was hitting puberty.
All right.
The voice.
Okay.
I would say something. I mean, I still can't remember mine. I don't remember what happened first, but I would say to base it off of something physical, like armpit hair or pubes, like they said. Because to bro's point, a boner could be dependent on like your environment. Like that might. I don't think your first boner should determine when you know, because you might, as a 10-year-old, you might see something a little early compared to another 10-year-old, and you know,
like what John said, like I don't remember when my voice changed, but I know that at a certain age, like I tried to scream and it was no longer high pitched, and I thought I was broken. So I tried to scream, but then I tried to roar, and it's like, oh.
Why would you try and roar?
I can't scream anymore. The hyper scream was not there, so then I just like yelled, and it's okay. It's gone forever. So
naturally, roaring was the next step. I love that. I guess that's. All right.
So this question is very interesting. Why is a high number body count for guys considered a good thing?
That's society. I feel
Like this is Bryce James. Bryce James is LeBron's youngest son, who like grew like 6 inches within a year, and now he's like super tall and crazy. Yeah. Bye, Gio. We get a lot of comments, so I'm gonna just pause real quick before we get this. But when you scream, but a word comes out. Body dysmorphia in the making. Oh yeah. That was a symptom possible.
Yeah, actually.
Right.
Look at you.
Okay, but yeah, body count. Why is that considered a good thing for guys?
I don't know. I think it depends on, again, what you're saturated with, what do you assume is what's cool. Because I know a few people as to where it's like, okay, I'm gonna get this kill and this kill and this kill, and then you end up end up with like 50. And it's like, bro,
You say kill?
you need help. Yeah.
Yeah, are we
So
talking about
it's,
kill count here? Is that what we're talking about?
Body
I'm
count,
confused.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Like
Yeah,
sexual
so-
partners. I didn't know guys think of it as a kill.
I've heard
We
that.
don't, I don't, but that's another name for it.
I've heard
Gotcha.
that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just depends on what the guy might think is cool or what is acceptable.
I think it's a societal thing, created by men, but like it's the same, you know, in the same breath, you know, high body count for guys is cool. High body count for girls is, oh, you're a hoe. You know what I'm saying? I think, and again, these are not my thoughts. I'm communicating societal thoughts, what I think they are, right? You know, it's seen as guy gets girl. Guy goes out and convinces girl to interact with him and eventually have sex with him. So people view it as, okay, this guy has the ability to woo X amount of women. Where on the other side, it's okay, you're a girl, you allow X amount of men. That's just how I think that's the stereotype that is given. So I think that's why people view it as a good thing for guys. When
I
really
agree with all of that. Yeah, it's a societal thing. As
Yeah.
said, it really is. I think it's unfair too. We can do whatever we want. If that's what you're into, go ahead. To me, I don't really care. It could be, you can have a high number, you can have a low number. It doesn't matter.
Someone share the guys' names. So it's Mike, John, and Kriston. Micah.
Keandre's come and got me weak.
We're talking about the kills. Body count. Don't got a tear tattoo showing inside.
I thought about it, but nah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, international spy kills in terms of a body count.
Okay, so I think we'll ask like maybe one or two other questions, and then we will give you a chance to ask girls questions you're too afraid to ask if you want, if you think of something. While you're thinking of a question you may want to ask a girl because you're too afraid to ask at this point. What are your thoughts on girls who make the first move?
All for it. Do what you gotta do. Yeah. If you're interested, go for it.
Good, because I made the first move.
I was about to say. And more power to you.
She knew what she wanted. She took it, man.
Same with mine. I'm not gonna lie. Same with mine. Yeah, exactly. If you're interested in someone, why hide it? You know, this is again like the stereotype sort of thing that we were talking about with the kill count. Who cares? You know, if you're into someone, then by all means, go for it. Do what you got to do.
I don't know. I'm really hesitant on that. But okay, if a guy, I can see a guy appreciating that, but I feel sometimes like guys feel like they can put in less work if you show interest too early.
Then that means that guy is not the one for you.
That's true. That's true.
You know, it's like if you approach them and they are truly and genuinely interested, then they will reciprocate that energy. And if they don't, that should obviously already be a sign that that's not the person for you.
Okay.
We're gonna bring you guys back on for a dating advice episode.
Right. It's too good.
Yeah, this sounds like y'all found the least problematic dudes y'all know.
I know.
This is like
this is very
a rare
wholesome.
find right here.
Yeah.
Not a
Maybe
good path.
we should have added some more like problem people.
We got a comment from Dre saying, "Love a confident queen because most girls will shoot their shot just by making eye contact multiple times. Mike knows what I mean. LOL. # Portugal." Dre.
That's true.
No, that's me. I'm
Girls
guys. I'd be like Professor X. Read my mind.
Yeah, girls do feel like they're doing the most when they're like trying to make eye contact and like looking away and looking back real quick.
one of our very problematic friends, Micah, said we should ask to be on, I guess.
That would have been good entertainment.
No, I would never have him on this podcast. Oh my god.
Hopefully they're not watching this episode.
Yeah, if so, I don't care because they know.
Maya, do you have any questions left to ask them before we give them the chance to ask us?
Honestly, no. I think we got through most of them.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, there was one more. Do you like it when women say they feel safe around you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, nice to hear.
Well, you want them to feel that way too, especially with how they are unfortunately treated these days, right? Like they can't go for a walk or a run without being harassed. So you just want to make sure that they do feel like when they are around you that, you know, they can be okay and that they will be okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it is nice. And you want, I would think, to have your significant other feel that way, where they're safe and secure when you're with them.
What if it's not your significant other?
That's cool too.
Like a friend or a coworker.
Yeah. And same thing, like I would want that too. I think it just means like you give off that vibe that like you care about someone, you know, and that you want them to be okay.
All right. We got a question from the audience.
Micah asked if she can ask a question, so this is hers. How do you communicate turnoffs to a partner? This is a great question.
Honesty is the best policy.
Just be honest.
Just be honest. Seriously. If you think it's going to be a difficult conversation, have a difficult conversation. And if your partner is understanding of that, then you'll find a way. Right? Like it's okay to have difficult conversations with your significant other. Mm-hmm. Just be honest and you'll find a way out.
I would add to, and this goes for men and women, try to do that the first or second, or at worst, the third time you're turned off. I feel like a lot of times people are turned off by something, but it's not, it's not that much, and they let it build up, and this person does said things, repeatedly, until like the one time you do feel like shutting it down, you come off hostile and mad because they've been doing it this whole time, and you've been angry this whole time. But so just try to communicate that early.
Yeah, be nice about it. Like, don't be a jerk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have a nice conversation versus attacking them about it.
Are we asking Micah how we want, like, how do we as females communicate with them, or how do they communicate with us?
I think she's asking them, like, how do they communicate turnoffs to women?
Because if it's like the other way around, like I'm always just like, ew, don't.
For me, I'm like, it's tough too, because when there's some things that are like, it's one thing, okay, take a shower or something like that. But when it's something that is kind of like not quarter their personality, but their self-expression, I do think it's a lot harder to do sometimes, because you're like, what is the solution? But it seems like, being able to share that very early is like what Mike is saying. And then kind of maybe the sandwich method for John, like being really nice about it.
And yeah, like, don't take it too seriously, I guess. It's just, you can make it a joke, I know one of her pet peeves of mine is like, sometimes I chomp my food when I eat. So like, she just called me out on that, and like, we had a good laugh about it. Now every time I catch myself doing it, I stop. It's just like, it doesn't have to be a serious sit down and, have an emotional conversation about it. It's just laugh it off. Just be gentle and just don't take it too seriously.
So then on the flip side, do you get butthurt when a girl communicates with you, or when your partner, whatever, communicates with you, that it's a turn off? Or does it just depend on what it is?
I think it depends on what it is, but also not really. Again, if you're confident in yourself, then who cares? Right? Like, we're not perfect. No one's perfect. But if you're confident in your own skin, then that's fine. Laugh it off. Right? If it's a serious thing, then don't do it as much, I guess.
Mike has got some fears about some personal hygiene.
Mike, we're gonna move forward because we are close to time, but these are really good questions, especially for guys to think about. Alrighty, so we can basically, if y'all have any questions that you guys want to ask us, ladies side, feel free to ask. Anyone have anything?
You guys all forgot to think about it, didn't you?
Say what?
So you all forgot to think about it.
Yeah, no, I was not.
Yeah, we're not
know.
very good at thinking, that's for sure.
Do you have no burning questions for what you would like to know from a female perspective? So typical.
Gosh, what did Dre say? Going back to an earlier question. If not, that's fine. But this is your one opportunity. Like,
you can never, as our close personal best friends, never ask us these after this podcast.
I mean,
this is so telling, Micah. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'll ask one that might be entertaining to hear the answer to. Like, what when like y'all are being approached, obviously I know you guys are fiancés on the call, but if you were single, when you guys like to be approached, do you guys like pickup lines, or just people just being themselves, or like what kind of, how do you like people to slide in person and on social media and like online?
No pickup lines.
No.
Original. They have to be original. Like if it's some kind of pickup line.
I don't like any pickup lines. I think it's corny, and I think it's a telltale sign that guys watch too much TV and they don't interact with women enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm like, this is not the Boondocks. This is not anything else. Like, I think just when guys just are themselves, and like talk about things that they enjoy or like common interests, that's like the best way. Like, I remember when I was out getting breakfast or something, and then I had like a Marvel t-shirt on, and this guy was clearly flirting with me, but he just asked, like, are you a Marvel fan? Have you seen this movie? I'm like, yeah, I did. So I like that, like just finding common interests and like just discussion points. But the can I get some fries with that shake? Absolutely not. I know that's like an extreme example, but even like the cat calling type of pick, no, none of that. Don't like that.
Just approach, try and find some common ground, tell us a compliment, but like don't be a dick about it.
Makes sense.
Dre has a question for the ladies. If a girl or wait, is this for the guys? This is for guys. Is it?
Yeah, it's for guys.
Yeah.
They always asking the hard questions.
If a girl does get a new haircut, makeup on, or something else, and it doesn't look good, what's the best thing to say as opposed to not saying anything?
Oh, don't not say anything. You gotta say something. How close are you? Context is key.
Oh, he says it's for the girls.
Yeah.
I would say,
like, if I cut my hair and Chrisan hated it, I want him to still make me feel good about it. And then later on, he can be like, oh man, I really like, you look so pretty when your hair, like, if we're looking at a picture, man, I loved it when your hair was like that. That's my favorite. Or like, make it still nice without being like, oh God, what happened to you? Because then your whole confidence is ruined.
I think if it's like a haircut where you can't go back from, okay, it's going to be like you said, say, oh, I really like it at a later time when it was like this.
Later on.
But like, it's really important for you not to like, because then she's going to be insecure or not insecure, but she may feel away like, crap, I'm stuck with this crazy haircut. But if it's makeup, say that immediately. Hey, like, that's a lot. And I like you, like, you don't really have to put all that on, or hey, those lashes are really aggressive. So, or like that, that lip liner is a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like weird because I'm not really used to guys giving me that type of feedback on my appearance. But I think if it's like an issue for you, I think it's good to say something if it can easily be changed.
Mm-hmm. Like if I'm wearing like a bright red lipstick and Kristan prefers the pink lipstick, whatever, like I would prefer for him to be like, oh man, I actually kind of like the pink ones better.
Yeah.
And I know, okay, like I'm not trying to be out here looking like something you don't prefer, because a lot of the time when I do makeup for a date or whatever, I do it to look nice for you. So
yeah, honesty is the best policy.
Except for right away.
Honesty is not the best policy, based on what y'all just said. It's almost the best policy.
But I mean, like, okay, like things that are like
honestly.
permanent, like, okay, you could say later on, okay, I don't like your haircut. But I'm just like in that moment, I'm like, I can't do anything about it. So at least make me feel good in the moment.
Yeah.
Like ease into it a little bit. Ease into it.
Look, listen, I'm with you. Don't get me wrong. That's just not exactly pure honesty. You know what I'm saying? You talk about,
no.
It's great. If you don't think it looks great.
If it's something that you can't immediately change, then yes, like you're gonna have to tell a little bit of not the blunt honesty.
You're gonna have to cap. You're gonna have to cap a little bit, and that's okay.
Yeah, and that's fine, because the goal is to still make her feel good.
Mike has a good point. Like if she's expressing herself, I don't think it's their place to give feedback. There's been moments where it's like a guy, there's maybe some things that I not necessarily agree with in terms of either style or whatever, but it's like if I know it means something to them or it's core to how they want to express themselves, then, that's just a way of, I don't know, being able to respect your partner. But yeah. And then Jay said, jokes aside, yeah, my mindset is only for things that can easily be changed, but typically best to do so later on. I feel like when things can easily be changed, say it then. I'm only saying things that are like kind of permanent, semi-permanent, not saying something immediate, but that could just be me.
I also am a hypocrite, which I realize now based on the flip the question comment, because I said about the haircut. Chris got a haircut recently, and I was like, "Oh man!" Like legitimately, immediately.
Go back to that barber.
It did not come out in a great way. So nobody can see.
It's a good look.
He used to have like a whole like this kind of hair, and now it's like shaved. And I loved his hair before. And so it just caught me off guard, and I am a hypocrite, so I will admit that on the internet. If I could do it again, I would do it with the advice that I just gave to everybody else.
I think for me, I think maybe this is a toxic trait of mine. But instead of maybe just immediately saying, hey, I don't really like it, I'll ask like questions like, hey, I noticed you something different, or like, where'd you get that shirt from? Where'd you get those shoes from? Or something. And then like, I don't know, I'll pry a little bit and then feel like I'm guiding, like prepping them for me, like potentially sharing some things that I don't really like. But I never come off rip and say, hey, I don't like this. Yeah.
Good questions, Dre.
Yeah, this is very productive convo, y'all. But so I want to give a special thanks to our contestants, Mike, John, Kristan. We appreciate you for sharing the male perspective or your own perspective on a lot of things.
And being so open and honest. For sure.
Definitely no chaos. Feel like y'all are three very wholesome guys. So we appreciate that. Mm-hmm. But honesty is and your openness greatly appreciated. So thank you for coming on the show, and hopefully y'all will be guests in the future.
Thank you, ladies, for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Send an invite, and I'll be here.
Alrighty. Well, see y'all next Thursday for Nerdy Girls After Dark.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.